Hello everyone, welcome to Wednesday's comment review. I get to go through all my YouTube videos once a week and read the comments and pick my favorite ones. If you want to be in this video, leave a comment and you might get in. If you've got something that's worth responding to or something nice, that's how it goes. I have some cool ones, I got some not so cool ones, I got a little bit of a mixed bag for you today. So like, comment, subscribe. We'll start with Res the Hero, TBH, the Galmon stuff actually might spike and get bought out sooner. Your Europe Regional was just won by Gallant yesterday. Dude literally just control alt deleted all his new mod matches, which there he is. There's Henny right there, the guy that won the event with Galmon. Yep. But yeah, a couple Galmon cards went up because of that. So that's how it goes, you know. Sometimes someone wins an event, sometimes those cards go up in price. Happens sometimes doesn't happen. Depends on the hype, right? Galmon is super hyped. People will believe in the Galmon hype and just go for it. So, makes sense to me. Wesley Miller is a Machine Drum player that hurt you in the room with us. I love the video as usual. This guy's trolling just to make it in the Wednesday comment video, so I thought I would just let him in there. No Machine Drum player hurt me. They can't. They just can't. They have no power over me, no dominion. It's crazy. Newhan Muzio Zabal. Leviamon might be a victim of better decks coming up in the future, so people might be trying to make a quick buck while they can so they can afford the new hot stuff. Waiting for Skull Knight promo to go down a bit since it went down. Same with Galamon, since it's a good support in a Kazuchimon deck. That's true. Leviamon is good in its own deck right now, but also is seeing play in Demon Lords over in Japan. So, very, very true comment indeed. Here we have Smegalodon here, YouTube member, by the way. If you're not a YouTube member, by the way, guys, just be a YouTube member. Sign up. It's $3 a month. It's cheap. Got lots of cool goodies over there. Lots of good advice, decks, and all that. It's fun. Went around the local card shops this week and found two R11 ones for $2 each. Make sure you check the local card shops for the goods. Definitely. And make sure you do support your local card shops because those are the ones that really do make the numbers. And Zaborg here, another YouTube member, saying my non-max Ready New Mon deck was pretty cheap, the same price as a Taco Bell Deluxe Cravings box. But for real, I love these type of videos. Keep them coming. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. And, you know, the Taco Bell Deluxe box, I think it's a little bit cheaper than a New Mon deck, but I appreciate the sarcasm there. I love it. Now we have a really interesting comment. At Sephiroth says that 146 is still not cheap by Digimon standards, to which someone responds, you can add a bunch of Monzamon from BT14 as a replacement, not nearly as good, but that is still playable, which will cut the price in half. So, I want to know the mechanism that Sephiroth, I'm not saying your name, sorry. I'd like to know what mechanism you use to determine not cheap by Digimon standards. Have you been chronicling all of the Tier 1 decks and over the formats and getting a hold of their prices? I have. And I have market watches that go back and like they prove that, right? So what's really interesting about this is 146. So at the $300+ mark, that's when it's getting expensive for sure. Or their $200+ mark. Like I think this is 287 or something. This new one deck with Shiny Rune ones. That's actually higher than average. 146 is kind of in the middle. Like it's okay. 146 is okay. There have been cheaper tier 1 decks. Absolutely. We've had best decks of the format under $100 US. We have. So by that definition, yes, this is a little more expensive than that. But I'd argue on average that's just not the case. I think 146 is actually okay. And I've been going through decks every set, every tier 1 deck, every set since the dawn of time in this trading card game. And you know what? I do argue that it has gotten a little more expensive, just a tiny bit here and there. Like the average price is increasing, but it's okay. It's honestly okay, I think. There are cheaper tier 1 decks that you can play though than this. One of them actually just won a regionals. Wow. We want to talk about that later. But yeah, Red Hybrid's really cheap and makes the price of this Numemon deck look like it's super expensive, like for the bougie people. So, understandably point, I'd like to use though what data he has, because I have all the data. And it's all on my market watches. Super Chuck Norris, man, a YouTube member. Do you think they're going to reprint the trainings in a full art sometime? My reasoning is because of the full art memory boost gift box. If so, share something right now. They might eventually. We don't know until we know. But the ones in the starter decks that are coming out in September they look a little bit better than the ones we have right now, in my opinion. So maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. Next up, we have Super Slamma Pajama. Nice name. BT14 is crazy slept on right now. My LGS is selling them for $60. If you pull a decent promo with the trainings, you already went even at $60 opening single pack. Legit crazy stonks, ultra my profits on pulls. Buy them now, lol. It's true. If you can find, BT14 boxes for $60 USD, grab them, because it is a really good deal right now. Johnny Stevens 259. I was in my Koji's last week for 50, but I was prioritizing Google alts in preparation for BT17 support that got announced. Now I wish I'd bought them. Magnas are definitely done going up. You can use the same logic you had with Rapidmon and apply to many Magnamon. It's true, absolutely. All that makes perfect sense. On the Kojis, though, they will drop in price eventually once the hype wears off, so don't worry about it right now. Just wait a little bit for Koji. Koji will go back down in price soon. Light Skis 1. YouTube member. I message you all-time messenger. You always respond back in a timely manner. No, I can't have a full-blown conversation with you, and you only got time for that. Nobody wants to have conversation with me. It's fine. That's okay. But no, I don't remember exactly the point I was making, but I am a pretty receptive person sometimes in Messenger. Sometimes I'm not. Depends on work. Depends on what day you message me. For example, if you message me on a Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday, good luck. If you message me on a Monday or Friday, more luck. Message me on a weekend, depends what I'm doing. If I'm just chilling at home, I got lots of time to respond to my messages. If I'm out in Toronto doing cool things, I don't. It just depends. It's hit or miss. It really is. I can't give this guy, it's nice that he can always get a hold of me quickly, which is fine, which is nice, but it's not always the case for everyone, unfortunately. It's not consistent. Gubin. Not gonna lie, I clicked on the video because I thought we were just getting a Machine Dramon list video machine. No. No. The clickbait is real on that one, the last comment video, I'll tell you. Huge McLarge Tail. I am always a free win against SecCon. I have zero close games and zero fun against it. But when I started being a thing in DT12, since then I just scoop right away. Machine Dramon is my favorite deck, but I would never play it anything bigger than locals. Prefer fast decks for several hour-long events. That's actually a really good point. The first part's kind of whatever. The second part's true, though. There are people that play faster, more aggro, cheaper decks in tournaments because it's easier on the brain. Like, who wants to spend 9 rounds of regionals playing Lilith Loop? That's not for everyone. Usually it's quicker to go herp, derp, smash, like, for example. So it's actually a perfectly valid comment, and I love it. Love to see it, honestly. We have my favorite keyboard warrior, the Real Team Outcast. You want to know what real market manipulation is? Watch any Mars Market Watch videos. Again, no proof, no examples, no nothing. Just a blanket keyboard warrior statement. Probably the dumbest person in my YouTube comment section. I got nothing else to add to that, honestly. I've said my point. What kind of shit has to be going on in your life that you feel the need to comment on YouTube videos? Just toxic garbage. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? What's wrong with your life? So Rad Joey is a YouTube member saying Mars sharing only the finest and excellent source of wisdom. It's true, I am very wise. I'm like Gandalf. Yeah, my hair is even getting closer to the Gandalf hair. We're getting there. We are getting there. This one's a really long one, but Magenta Chipmunk is a YouTube member, and this brings up a good conversation topic. This brings up a nice little counter-argument-ish theory/discussion on my Tuesday video about the market being manipulated because of the Magnamon cards. I'm going to read this. I'm just going to go through the whole thing at once, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts, because there's some kernels in here that are good and some kernels that are not so good. I don't have a TCG player account because I live in Canada. So then what do you use for comps to determine how to sell your inventory for? Do you just pick random numbers? Is there a secret Canada site we stay too don't know about? Homie, whether you like the minute or not, your reach influences the market. About a month ago, you mentioned you had been investing in Hina Altar for $5. The very next day, she was 10, and the 13 at the end of the week. That's with no support and announcement ending, just you mentioning it. Oh, shucks, she's gone way up. Guess it's time to sell 13 when you covered it in a video last week. Why? Thought TCG player does affect you. Personally, I don't care that you do this because it helps me as well. Your market watch videos are mostly insightful and helpful. Just own it and stop with the denial and gaslighting that you don't have a large effect on the market and doesn't benefit you. Okay, so there are multiple points to this, and I want to address them all. First of all is I want to reiterate the point in the video that I made that even if I wasn't here, there would still be market movements based on hype, events, and other calculations that go into it. I do not have a hold around the Digimon market. I don't. So to address the littler points here, TCG Player is a website. A lot of people use TCG Player to reference their websites. On occasion, I have done this, but also on occasion, I don't do it. Sometimes it's not random per se, but I will just pick a number. And the reason I'll pick the number is because Canada and US are different things. For example, US, you people in the USA, because you have a large website like TCG Player, you can get things at a more affordable price, or even more so, you can get them at, you can go on Facebook, buy from someone in the States at 85% TCG Player, and they'll ship it to you state to state, no problem, because you can do that. Now, in Canada, we don't have exactly the inventory that the United States have. We have a couple of websites. Yeah, there's a couple of websites, a couple of big Canadian sellers that do have websites that sell cards like 401 Games, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. But where do we get our numbers from? You'll actually notice, and again, because we're just a chipmunk, and maybe some people in the United States may not know this, if you were to go to a Canadian store, even a really big one like 401 Games, and you would try to like buy singles online, you might notice that the singles of the cards, when you convert from USD to Canadian, you get a Canadian price. It's actually higher than TCG Player, sometimes by a lot. And the reason why that is because us Canadians are sometimes setting our own prices. And there's multiple gauges we can use. It's not just TCG Player. There's other big US sellers as well, like PPG Games, for instance, that you can kind of use to counteract. There's also European markets, which to a parallel effect, you can also use that to base prices off of. So, do we use TCG Player? Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. I am definitely known, if I am too lazy to look up TCG Player, I'll just look up cards. I'll say this for that price, this for that price, that for that price, blah, 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 blah. And they'll sell usually. And that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. But yeah, it's hard for Canadians to use TCG Player in a fair way. Because if you do an exercise, and if you go on TCG Player and you filter to Canadian, you'll notice that only higher listings in US dollars are there, right? You don't usually get the cheaper US listings. You'll actually get more expensive listings in the US because those ones are willing to ship to Canada, embrace that extra shipping cost. Well, for us, that matters, right? So everything in Canada, sometimes it does look like we pull numbers out of our ass because we do. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of prior basis here and there on certain things. And again, once again, we don't just ignore TCG Player sometimes, but sometimes we do. So there is that. And I will admit on the second point, I have oopsiesed a few cards before. Hina might have been one of them. I think it happens not often, but sometimes I'll say, wow, this card should be really expensive. Why is it so cheap? And then all of a sudden it gets bought up. That happens, but that is not consistent enough for anyone to do anything with, including myself. Sometimes I benefit from it because with the Hinas, I have a lot of them because I knew that card would go up one day. It just so happens that with that one, I accidentally pressed the gas and the community was like, yeah, sure, why not? At the end of the day here, 9 times out of 10, all I do is provide good market advice. And the market effectively does what it wants to do. But there is that occasional time, like 1 out of 10 is actually a little bit high, obviously. But you get my point, where I will say something that doesn't make sense, and then the market will course correct itself into making sense. And that's my bad if that happens because I mention it. I do have that reach. I'm not like some other guys that make market content or some other people that might win an event but actually have no reach, so their decks that they use don't really go up. For example, Gallantmon won the regional on the weekend in Europe. Gallantmon was heavily advertised all around. Everyone knew about it. The cards were exploding because it was popular. But the guy that won with Red Hybrid on the regional, at least at this time of recording, it's not affecting the price of the cards because it wasn't well advertised, not well known, and all that. Which is funny because it happened in Europe and not here. Usually it's the other way around. But that's what happens sometimes, right? Moral of the story, The market will move without me. Sometimes I will impact something, but 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100 rather, it will move without me. Absolutely. Absolutely. And do I benefit from it? I do. Sure. Did you guys know I own a card shop? Do you guys know that I have to buy cards and sell cards to make a bit of a living from it? It's not my major living by any chance, by any stress, but it is. It is what I do. But the advice that I mention is everything that I do. Whenever I say, wow, I'd buy this card, it's probably because I bought some of those cards. Or if I say, okay, maybe you do, I'm not really investing in those ones because I don't know, right? But if I tell you something like I have copies of this card, or I think it's a really good idea to get this card, there's a good chance that I have some cards because I know ahead of time what to invest in to kind of make money because I've been doing this for years. So I know. I know. So I hope that long answer kind of answered this very long message. Is a good one. Very, very, very descriptive, and I love to see it. This is what the real Team Outcast could do, by the way, but doesn't. But yeah, agree with some, disagree with some. That's how it goes. At the end of the day, I'm the one in the hot seat. I'm the one that you guys look to for these market videos. It is what it is. Rizern, Wendigo is the best looking card from the secret pack, but you already got 4 copies of it. At least I can pick up and play stuff for cheap. That's true. I recommend doing that because Wendigomon's really good, actually. Lotmon Rush, cool deck. Nice. The Drunken Spartan, YouTube member, hot take, Japan now switches to our meta because we're known for broken combos, i.e. banned pair. That would be really interesting is if when we catch up in a year, will Japan start copying us? It'll be really interesting for sure to see who comes up with the sauce at that point in time. And I think that North America, you'll really get to start to see the sauce from North America because it won't just be Japan getting the cards first. I love this comment. All this because they printed Apocalymon from my judge, Noah, here. To be fair, this guy that's commented also, right, it's been playing out for a long time, but I think the Apocalymon and Anubismon fiasco really pushed this in line. So I think that's funny. And finally, Fires Deep. I actually prefer this. Yeah, it will mess pull rates up a little bit, but to be able to enjoy some cards before limit or ban is preferable. My only worry is now that we get sets at the same time, there will be card shortage and we get delay, or they send sets out in waves, which was a pain back in the day. I think that was more of a COVID thing and a manufacturing concern thing than anything else. So I don't think that's going to happen, but I could be wrong. So we'll see what happens. That's it. That's all I got for today's market review video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.